It's a nice walk along the river. Frankfurt is a city that's a mixture between the old and the new. During World War II, this is where a lot of the air raids happened. So a lot of the old historic housing has been completely lost. And so there are a lot of skyscrapers, and some of the city has been retained. And so I'm walking to the old city, the old town, to see the old houses and the cathedral, which I can already see in the distance. It's a really beautiful day. And this behind me is the Frankfurt Cathedral. It's a really cool pink color. It looks like there's some scaffolding around it, but I'm going to see if I can go inside. Well, I shouldn't have gone to the gym this morning because all these stairs to go 66 meters in height. I'm not sure how many stairs that is. And I'm hoping that nobody is going to be coming down because there's really not much room to move around. Made it. I think I climbed thousands of stairs, but look. It was definitely worth it. So a €3 ticket gets you cardio workout and these amazing views. Where I'm heading next, that's where all the old town buildings are. And you can see really interesting architecture. These houses that are built in like an older style, but have these glass kind of staircases and interesting rooftops. And then you have the contrast of the old town and the squares where it's just a completely different architectural style. And further on you have almost like a Manhattan type skyscraper skyline view. This kind of reminds me of Melbourne because the river and how walkable the city is. It's a really cool place. Maybe it's a good thing that I came extra early because it is getting busier and I can't imagine being stuck with a bunch of people at the tower. That would be crazy. And there's a museum here. This was some history about the strategic bombing campaign in World War II. Nearly all the churches in the city were destroyed except the cathedral, which suffered only minor damages, and approximately 1,500 people lost their lives through the two Allied bombings in 1944. I was actually amazed just going up the tower, the fact that it was completely intact and it didn't look like it was reconstructed. So there you go, this church managed to survive the bombings. So the night masks, the whole thing extends over, connecting with these pillars, all in pink. The main organ. There's no service at the moment, so you can just come in. Admission is free and admire the beautiful architecture. I've never seen a pink cathedral from the inside and the outside. As you can see, it goes all the way around. There's German groups, Spanish groups, Chinese groups, Russian groups, so many tourists. Can't believe how amazing the weather has been. It's just so pleasant to be outside, and I'm just wearing something light today and just jeans and sneakers, don't need a jacket. It's a bit chilly when I was walking by the river. It's just amazing, and I'm just really enjoying Frankfurt. So I'm now in the Plaza with Old St. Nicholas Church right behind me, and this is just a little square that has a lot of different cafes and shops and old style buildings. I'm gonna go check out some of them in a bit. This is a town hall, so there's all these people getting married and I guess having celebrations. It's a really pretty building. That's a wedding right there. And I think other people have christenings, and oh, there's like more weddings. There's a bride coming down those stairs. Festive atmosphere. Maizeel, I think I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Maizeel shopping area, and you can hear the bells. It's 12:30. This is a pedestrian bridge, and you can walk across the river. This is where the river cruises depart from. There's one here, this company, they depart every hour, and you can choose whether to do a 50-minute cruise or a 100-minute cruise. The 100-minute cruise takes you up and down the river. Let's walk down this bridge. You can see lots of different things. And I guess when you cruise down here, down the river, you'll be able to see all these different castles and cathedrals and other things on both banks. So I guess that's why it's a good idea to do the upstream and the downstream cruise. If you love museums, Frankfurt is your city. This is a culture museum. They're all along this river bank. World Culture Museum. Really beautiful buildings. A lot of them used to be mansions that have now been turned into museums. And along all this strip, it's all just museums. So everything is 5 to 10 minutes walk. It's great. As I've kept saying this entire time, I'm amazed at how walkable this city is. I'm amazed at how quickly you get to places and how easy it is to go around between the two river sides or river banks. It's really cool that all the taxis here are Mercedes, so I don't think I will ever look at a taxi in the same way again. I mean a Mercedes the same way again, because I will think, oh, it's just a taxi car, that's fine, it's simple. And on a beautiful day like this in Frankfurt, where you only have 24 hours, I guess it's just really difficult to decide which museum you want to go to, what sites you want to see, and so I'm nitpicking what I believe would be a really cool thing to do within a 24-hour period. So I want to check out the sculpture museum, which looks really cool, but you might like modern art, you might like other museums, you might like historic museums, art galleries and the like. So yeah, it's just a city that's filled with everything, and I'm sure that if you spent 24 hours in Frankfurt, you wouldn't be bored. This is the museum that I wanted to go see. This is the Liebieghaus. Liebig. I guess I'm not saying that right again. There are lots of sculptures in this one, so it looked super interesting to me. It's a castle. Look at it. I'm just having a little break, my latte, in one of the most beautiful gardens in Frankfurt. So I've got my little brochure here. It says that this is a former villa of Baron von Liebig, which provides a unique setting to encounter over 3,000 sculptures from Egypt and Greece, and it's very historic and there's a lot of different things to see. So I'm super excited. This is an incredible statue. It's made out of rose granite, and it's actually Alexander the Great depicted as the pharaoh. And presumably the sculpture was done by a Greek sculptor, not an Egyptian one, but because Alexander the Great took over Egypt in 332, there was a lot of this intersection of cultures, and basically this is now the pharaoh Alexander the Great, which I had no idea this was happening. And apparently the Greeks ruled Egypt for quite some time as well. I don't think I've ever been this close to a mummy cast before, and you can actually look inside, and inside here there's all sorts of engraving and writing, which is incredibly preserved. I don't know if this has been restored. It's really, really great. This is the very famous sculpture of Ariadne on a panther. This is a financial center, so I guess it makes sense to have this big euro sign. This is my snack. I didn't end up going on a river cruise, even though I planned it. I was going to do the 10 p.m. one to check out the city skyline at night. I was still a little bit jet lagged, but there are different times that the cruises depart, so I highly recommend that you check out the different schedules. But I did enjoy my 24-hour stay in Frankfurt. It's a beautiful city. A lot of people have told me that they don't venture out of the airport when they are on a layover there, but I would highly recommend that you take the train or a taxi out from the airport and explore this beautiful city. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please follow or subscribe. Thank you.